name is Joel, and this is my Path to Peak Performance podcast, where I share my stories on a journey to become really great badminton player and really strong calisthenics athlete. So let's dive into it. What happened in the past 2 weeks since the last episode? I had another tournament. They have been I think in every episode now it has been one tournament. Anyway, when I usually look for tournaments, now when I started with them, so this was only third one, so I haven't been to too many, or fourth one, sorry. I was checking some future series tournaments, so these are the lowest level ones that bring the least amount of points, and they have the most entry level players in this professional world of badminton. So I looked those future series, and I was looking for something that's relatively close to me, to Estonia, where I live, and something that has relatively inexpensive tickets so that it's kind of easy to go there. And since now it's kind of winterish time, and in Estonia, during this period, there is very little of sunlight. I was also looking for something that maybe has some sun, so I can extend this a summer period, autumn, whatever, and have more sun and less darkness. And this Ibiza fell well in. There were decent options for flying there from Estonia, and I registered and booked it. I had this cool idea that I will maybe make a small vlog of my journey, travel towards the tournament, etc., and post the video as well, but I didn't prepare well, and not happening this time. Maybe next tournament. But I can share you a bit stories. So overall, I was trying to get into my mental good space so I can play well, so I can get as much as I can from this tournament. And I think that it is moving there. This is a philosophy that I need to prepare a bit about to talk on how to think, etc. But I think it's getting a lot better. I'm getting a lot more focused and present with my play. I'm not thinking about whether I will win or lose or what will happen. I am more kind of really trying to enjoy the game that I like to play, enjoy badminton, because that's how I started with it. I started with it as a random thing, and I really loved it, and I wanted to continue to do it more. And I'm trying to, when I play badminton, I try to not think about, I need to win, or what happens there, or if I miss this shot or whatever. I'm trying to relax and enjoy this game. And besides that, I'm trying to be present with every rally, every hit. It's here and now, doesn't matter what's the score, what happens now, what happened previously, and it's working. It's getting more and more there, and I'm really happy about that. This mindset is starting to get more easier. It's not just I want it, but it's not working out. It's hard. I'm always thinking about something. So this is really good. So far, the results are sometimes good, sometimes not so great. This time in Ibiza's tournament, I actually lost pretty badly on the tournament. I play against some younger Spanish guy. I don't know how overall good he usually is, but he was better than me. I don't think he was that much better as the result shows. I got barely several points from 21, which is somewhat disappointing, but I really did enjoy the game, and I'm happy about that at least. And I am still really young player. All of those players there are training years and years more than I am, so it's kind of reasonable and not expectable that I'm going to come there and easily win. It takes time. I am gathering experience. I am training, becoming better, but most importantly, I'm really enjoying the journey and enjoying the badminton game. So this was my trip in Ibiza. Besides this badminton tournament in Ibiza, it was kind of the weather not so especially sunny. There were some sunny days, but overall it has been less warm and sunny and summery than I expected. But I mean, it's November, so it's not, I guess, expected that that will be full summer on in Spain. But yeah, besides badminton, from my overall well-being, calisthenics, strength, and progress, the last decent period of I think it's now more than a month has made its toll, and it has been pretty tough. I have been in Spain for a week for the tournament, because for that I found better price tickets, and it has been there somewhat like nice that I have this like time where I'm like away from everything and I can like think and be in peace, no usual distractions, etc. However, this time it was kind of something that I didn't really need. What I needed is my regular routine, because yeah, I had this Egypt trip where I went to the tournament, which was several weeks. Then I came home to Estonia for several days, and then I was going to Croatia to visit my family, because my grandmother unfortunately passed away. And then I came back to Estonia for several days, and then went to Spain. And during that long period, I didn't have proper training. In Egypt, I didn't train because before that, if you remember, or if you watched the previous episodes, I had injured my shoulder, so I didn't do some training. So I had pretty significant amount of time where I didn't have proper trainings. I had some in these small periods when I came to Estonia, but it was also really hard to get back into them after so long of being without training. But yeah, that the period of not having training has accumulated and gotten to a point where I don't want to go and be somewhere alone in peace. I want to have my daily routine. I want to have my regular trainings, my usual nutrition, food that I eat, etc. I was like really missing it, and it's getting hard on your like mental state as well. So now I'm like really happy to be back home. I don't have any trips for quite a while now, so I can properly do my regular daily routines, my training. Well, I also have like a daytime work, and I'm very lucky to have like really good balance with it and have time for training. And I have my kitchen, my food, etc., where I know like what I have, I can prepare myself and eat things that I consider to be healthy, etc. But one interesting thing from this is that lots of people who usually don't regularly train or do some physical activity, they look at the person who goes like every other day or almost every day to the gym or wherever and practices, and then they think like, oh my god, this like person is like, I can't imagine what kind of discipline they have to go like every day in and day out into the gym or into the hall or whatever they are doing to practice and train. And it's interesting that once you get to the other side, once you start doing these like activities a bit by bit, once you get the taste of having this in your life as a routine, once you start to feel the benefits of how good you feel when you're getting stronger, when you're like moving around, it's unimaginable to stop. And when you do stop, when you have these periods, when you don't have it, it feels really bad. It's really tough. So it's really like interesting perspective of how it looks from different sides. And if some of you who are like watching this are maybe not training anything or doing physical activities, it's not that like we who train hard have like some crazy big discipline. Yeah, that is part of it. Like you need some will, etc. But it's actually when you get started, you get hooked, and it's hard to stop. You don't want to stop because it feels so good. It's nice to have something to do. It's really nice to feel the progress, the way that you're improving, the way that you are growing. And when your body does get stronger physically, it feels good. You feel much better. I was talking last time in the episode how this like way that you move, it makes you feel younger. It gets you feel vital. And the more you are stopping and the older you are getting, you start to get into this like I'm like a vegetable on a couch mode, which doesn't feel good. So yeah, this is like a bit of like philosophy and perspective on things. But yeah, I'm really, it's a bit tough because I am not in training for a long time, not at least proper one. I have started back again. I'm really happy to be back and looking forward to continuing my progress. On a badminton side, one thing that is also a bit tough, so many tough and like semi-negative things in this episode, unfortunately, but better times will come. I'm still struggling with my Achilles on my right foot. Before Ibiza, last badminton training that I did, I have felt it afterwards for like several days, which is not really a great sign. It was okay for my match, but after my match, I have felt it for several days. I have also done a lot of walking around Ibiza. I had time and I like to walk. And this, even walking is impacting pretty decently my Achilles. So Achilles was so kind of worn that after several hours of walking is maybe not like a small amount of walking, but it's still just walking. And I felt that Achilles like pretty decently. That's so much that it was not easy to like walk. Of course, it was fine after I slept. Next day it was okay, but I still felt it. And I'm still in my battle with this. I need to get better at load management for my foot so that I don't overdo it, but I still need to give it enough stress so that it can continue getting stronger. And I have other means to try to like help it with like recovery. There is this TECAR, whatever you pronounce it, therapy, which so far in the past has worked really well for me. I haven't went to it now for quite a while, but I plan to book some times from next week going forward. An additional one is this getting more blood flow into that area, doing some really easy exercises where you can do like tons of repetitions, and you whatever you do, if you do it with wrist and you like rotate like this around like 1,000 times or something, you know that you're going to start feeling like really warm, and this usually brings like a blood flow to the area. And since the tendons don't have any blood vessels in them, then if the muscles that surround them get more blood flow, then at least from what I found online, there is like these theories that it helps to bring some more nutrients kind of closer and heal the tendon faster. I don't know like whether it makes a huge difference or whether it does anything at all, but it doesn't hurt you, definitely. And there are some studies that are showing that from these kind of like exercises, which are relatively easy with lots of repetition, that they do somewhat help with this like recovery. Whether it's because of this blood vessel stuff or for any other reason, it seems that there might be some benefit, and it's definitely not risking additional injury. It shouldn't. So I'm going to do a lot of those for my Achilles, and I know that tendons take a lot more time to properly heal. They take a lot more time to build and get stronger. I don't think that my tendon is severely damaged or something, but the pressure that I'm putting it under at the moment is more than it can handle. So I have lots of stuff that I'm doing for it. I maybe make a separate video describing what are all my things that I do for it, and then you can choose like what maybe if you have similar injuries for any of the tendons that you can do to help support it. Because there are these like recoveries, load management, different strengthening exercises about surrounding muscles and muscles that you use in the movements that you do that also put strain on this Achilles, because if those muscles are maybe stronger, maybe they can take a bit more load in those movements that you do, and then less pressure goes on this for me Achilles, or for you any other tendon, muscle, whatever you have trouble with. So I don't know, I've been rambling about lots of random stuff, but yeah, this has been my past 2 weeks. This is my current state, and yeah, I'm expecting that in the next episodes there will be better news, because I'm happily home and I can properly focus on my training and again do my like regular nutrition, etc. I'm also looking into this overall well-being. For me, this training is not just about badminton and calisthenics, but I like to overall be healthy and stay like really strong and young for a long time. Not just live till like very old age, but being like really mobile and moving and youthful while I am at higher age. There is still a lot of time for me, but it's good to start early. So anyway, due to that, I'm looking into also doing some kind of these different tests that measure it. A really popular one currently is from this like Brian guy, the blueprint thing, and he done this aging DNA measuring of telomeres test, and I'm planning to do the same ones to see like where I am now, and then we'll do like some remeasurements after half a year. That's the period that I usually recommend to see how the things that I'm doing are impacting that, etc. And this might be some interesting data points for you to see on how all these things that I'm doing, how they impact some well-being and my aging and so forth. At some point, I maybe can also talk more about what kind of like foods do I eat, etc. If it's interesting, and more details about what training do I do. But for now, yeah, this was a bit of philosophy mixed with some stories from the journey and things that happened in the past 2 weeks and my thoughts, states, so forth. Anyway, as usual, if you want to hear something else, some more details, something different, please let me know in the comments below to help me like make these episodes somewhat more useful for you. This is also like a very new thing for me, and I know that they are not like great and perfect, but they don't need to be. I started, I'm doing something, and I will like adapt, and at some point these episodes will be much better than they are now. And you get to help me shape what they are by giving me your comments or feedback. And yeah, so I encourage you to do so. This is it for today. See you in 2 weeks again, and have a nice time until then, and enjoy your trainings. Ciao.